What's up guys, you good Gypsy, and we are back here today with APA Week 6, going to be facing off against E4Dan this week. This dude has 2 Shell Smash sweepers on his team, so he's got Shelder and Dwebble, so he's got a very, very threatening team. To complement that, he also has momentum priority in the form of Whimsicott, in the form of Cottony, and he's got some threatening mons like Darumaka you see there in Sandar, which he's used very well. So definitely a threatening team. E4Dan is actually the guy who's responsible for the amazing graphics for this season of the APA, so definitely shouts out to him for that. He's done a fantastic job, with all the beautiful graphics. So yeah, definitely go and check out his channel and check out his side of the match. But yeah, before we jump into it, I want to thank Phantombass for joining my team this week, and I want to thank Panther for recording the game for me. So we're going to go into the team I've brought this week. We've got Meowth, just a Life Orb set, amazing for revenging his Shell Smash sweepers. We've got a Berry Juice Rocks Bronzor set. Pretty decent answer to Shelder, honestly. Like Adamant plus 2 liquidation doesn't kill, even though I'm not a Violite, which is just insane. And I can really severely weaken that thing at -1 with a Psychic. And I do have the Signal Beam for stuff like the Sandal if he wants to switch that in. And then I've opted to bring a pretty bulky Corpish here, because it can kind of soft check Cloister whilst throwing off knockoffs and Crab Hammers. I got Sludge Bomb in case, I do have the tech Sludge Bomb in case he wants to bring in Cottony as a switch into that. And yeah, Aquajet can be really clutch in the late game versus a lot of his faster offensive frail mons. Then we have God Spritzy, just Fizz Death, nothing crazy about this set, but I do have T-Ball coverage for Shelder. It actually ensures that I Oko it if in a Violite set after a Shell Smash drop, so yeah, Spritzy's insane. And then I've got a Weak Armor. I'm a Nasty Plot Volibee this week actually, and I'm Weak Armor with Berry Juice. I opted to go Berry Juice here. I was kind of contemplating Z-move, but ultimately Berry Juice can come in handy versus stuff like U-Turn from Darumaka. And then lastly, I've got just a nice Scarf Smooching here, which can threaten his team really, really nicely. Like his team doesn't really switch into Ice Beam well. Darumaka takes rocks, it gets chipped. Shelder takes a huge amount from Ice Beam. So yeah, that's just what we're rocking this week, and we're going to jump right into it. You can see Dan opted to bring only one of his Shell Smash sweepers, which is definitely nice. Dwebble is a threat to many teams, being able to stack hazards and also potentially sweep itself with Shell Smash, or at least break down a team for Shelder to come through. So I'm going to lead off with my Meowth. It leads off pretty nicely versus the majority of his team. Obviously he could have Shuppet, but I do have Knockoff on this set, which would be able to bot that if I'm not expecting him to be like Sash or like a Violite or something, or even Scarfed set. So he's going to get the Intimidate drop off, and I am just going to click Fake Out turn 1. Even though I am intimidated, I want damage and I want information off on this Sandar, but he's instead going to bring in his Cottony here, and he takes it relatively well, revealing that he's more than likely in a Violite set there. So I'm going to switch out into my Spritzy here, as he does actually make the double out into his Sandal this turn. I think he was scouting here for the Gunk Shot, which is a fine play. I can respect that play a lot. He would have got the double Intimidate off versus me. Meowth, outspeeding Cottony just naturally. So yeah, scouting for Gunk Shot was a fine play there. I assume that's what he was doing, but I'm going to be able to get in my Spritzy here, which obviously threatens out this Sandal, and I'm just going to fire for Moonblast, as he is going to switch in his Darumaka. So this thing takes very little from the Moonblast, but it's certainly not a Violite. That thing takes too much for it to be a Violite, so he's more than likely a choiced variant, as he does click U-Turn here. So that kind of tells me he's probably he's probably like a locked-in choiced variant. So I'm going to Wish Up just to scout the damage, and that does 5, which doesn't seem like a lot, but that is a lot to Spritzy, as that tells me this thing is banded, and banded hustles. So this is good information to have. I am just going to throw a Wish Up in the air, and his team does not really appreciate switching in to Spritzy's Moonblast. If he does want to switch back his Darumaka, he's going to be coming in and taking another 20-25% from this Moonblast. It's going to be putting him low. He's already in range of Aquajet now from my Corpish, as well as Fake Out from Meowth, so that's really, really solid for me. And the beauty of Spritzy here is I will just be able to go for the Protect, just to scout what he wants to click. If he does click Banded Flare Blitz, it actually has a chance to kill me if he's Adamant. But he does just click U-Turn, I guess, expecting me to go Corpish there. as he clicks U-turn yet again, and this turn I am going to fire for, I think I do fire for Moonblast here, because I want to get damage off from that Cottony, and that Cottony, he's shown to be his switch into this after a U-turn, and any damage off from this is just going to help my Corpish in the late game. So yeah, I'm going to fire for Moonblast, and he's going to bring in Cottony, and he takes a decent chunk from that actually, confirming that he's certainly a Violite set, as his Giga Drain does a nice chunk. I think that's max special attack on his Cottony, because Spritzy's a fat boy, like, or girl, I'm not too sure, but yeah, girl here. So Spritzy's pretty thick, and that Giga Drain does, like, that does a lot of damage. That does 7 damage. That's not weak. So yeah, this thing definitely has some sort of offensive investment, as no special attack Giga Drain should not be doing that much. I get a crit and a special attack drop here, which is definitely unfortunate for Dan. Obviously, like, Spritzy was winning this exchange 1v1 if he did intend to stay in, versus me, because I have Wish Protect, and my Moonblast is doing enough, and he can't stall me out with Giga Drain there. So, but he does choose to just go for the Memento this turn, as I do fire for Wish, and I'm thinking here, okay, this is probably like his idea probably right here is just the Memento, my Spritzy, and then get in his Cloister or his Shelder, so he can Shell Smash up. And even though I am at -2 special attack, after he goes for the Shell Smash, he's at -1, or I guess neutral now, with factoring in his Violite. My T-Bolt is still going to be doing around half, and that's really nice damage off on this Shelder. And like, Shelder's not the kind of thing that you can just switch out versus. Like, if you have the opportunity to get damage off on this monster, you have to take it. So I'm going to get the power here, which won't end up mattering, as you're going to see. He's still going to outspeed me the following turn and get an attack off, as Spritzy, this is a +2 Icicle Spear, and for those of you guys who don't know, Icicles, that was a crit by the way, for those of you guys who don't know, like, Shelder's Icicle Spear and like multi-hit moves are just ridiculously strong, even though they're non-stab. The way damage rolls work for multi-hit moves in Little Cup is pretty crazy. So yeah, this thing is a threat, but Spritzy Spritzy tanked. He got a couple of crits and we still lived, so that's pretty crazy, as pretty much his biggest threat is out of the way now, and that's amazing. So his biggest threat now becomes this Darumaka, and at this stage I'm going to protect, of course, to see what he wants to scout, to lock himself into. If he chooses to lock himself into Flare Blitz, then my Spritzy will go down here, and I'll be able to set up an SD with my Corpish, as his Cottony is gone, and essentially just win the game from there. But he actually chooses to preserve his Darumaka and goes out into his Blitzel here, so I am going to get the Wish up, and all of a sudden, yeah, like, Spritzy's going to be back. So yeah, Spritzy putting in the finest of work here. I'm just going to protect, just obviously to receive the Wish, as he's just going to click Volt Switch here. So this is probably a Scarfed, like, potentially a Scarfed Blitzel. He could be Specs, but I'm thinking probably more than likely Scarfed, just based on my my team's kind of weakness to electric types. So he's going to go for the Volt here, and that's going to do very little, as I think I do Wish up this turn again, and so he's going to bring back out his Darumaka, which is really the only thing that can threaten my Spritzy. So I'm gonna throw the Wish in the air, and I'm just gonna protect this turn to get my health back. And yeah, I've got a pretty great shot of living Banded Flare Blitz from this thing, but in terms of playing this endgame as safely as possible, I am gonna preserve Spritzy, because like max health Spritzy just kind of wins. And I'm going to go out into my bulky Corpish, and I say bulky, like, this thing is bulky, but this, you got to understand, this is a hustle banded, I'm pretty sure adamant Flare Blitz from a Darumaka, and a big Chromarax, yeah, takes that pretty well, all things considered. So only does a little bit over half, as I am going to be able to bop him here with the Aqua Jet. He didn't have a good switch into Aqua Jet at that stage in the game, so completely fair play, sacking off. He'd already revealed his 2 Violite Mons to be the Cottony and the Shelder, so it's not like he had a Violite Mon back in the back. I think everything was 2 KO'd by Aqua Jet there, so I'm going to switch back out into my Spritzy, as he does go into Blitzel here, and obviously threatening me with the Volt Switch, as Spritzy will be able to come in and, yeah, chew that pretty well. He's going to now go out into, he's going to bring out his Sandal here, and I think I'm going to Wish up this turn. I want to scout the damage off on this Sand. I want to determine what kind of set he is, whether he's like a Rocks, Berry Juice variant, or whether he's like a more offensive, like Life Orb variant. And this Earthquake is going to do 9 damage, so it does quite a lot of damage. as this turn I'm going to wish. I think he could have been banded, or just maybe like adamant with like some sort of boosting item, or maybe even just adamant and he got a high roll. But right there, Dan is going to Dan's going to forfeit because Spritzy kind of just 1v1 the rest of his team at that stage. And yeah, like yeah, the game's kind of over there, so I definitely understand. He wasn't salty or anything, he's just kind of saving both of our time. So that's going to be week 6. Obviously not the most entertaining game in the world. Spritzy just kind of doing what it does. I didn't really intend for Spritzy to put in as much work as it did. Like, I was kind of I was okay with sacking it off to the Flare Blitz at that point in the game, because Corpish just kind of came in and won at that point. But I guess, yeah, Dan expected me to make, I suppose, the switch out to Corpish that turn, which is why he doubled into Blitzel, which is why he hard switched into Blitzel, which I can also understand that. So, yeah, quite an interesting game, but hopefully me and Dan will be able to play in the future, and it'll be more of an entertaining game, because obviously this wasn't the most entertaining of games to watch, but I hope you guys did enjoy. Obviously it's a pretty good Spritzy showcase. This thing is absurd. It's like definitely the Clefable of Little Cup, as one of my boys put it. But yeah, that's going to be it from me. I know this video is a little bit late. Dan and I had some issues scheduling. We just both had a crazy week, to be honest, and weren't really focused on Mons, but hopefully you guys do still enjoy. Nice quick one. And yeah, next week I'm going to be facing off against, well, next upload, I guess this week, I'm going to be facing off against AIM, my boy Joey, which should be a fun one. He has an insane team, so that should be a good one. Hope you guys do enjoy. Drop a like if you did, and I'll catch you guys next time.